Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani just fought for the undisputed Super Bantamweight crown, and it's safe to say that Inoue has proved he's the best. A lot of you came back to my last video where I said Nakatani can beat Inoue to tell me about how I was wrong, and you know what? Fair enough. Junto was number 6 of the world pound for pound rankings, but Inoue managed to come in and get the job done. I wouldn't say it was an easy night for Inoue because Junto definitely showed up to give him trouble, but nonetheless, Inoue walked away as the conqueror. Now that they've both fought each other, in this video, I'll be taking a closer look at what's next for both of them and who could actually beat Inoue. Before we begin, if you like this kind of content, then be sure to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Before the fight, both of these guys came in with a fierce reputation. They both had the same record and had both won multiple world titles. It's been a while since we've seen such an evenly matched fight, and although a lot of people thought Inoue wouldn't have problems, a lot of fans, including myself, knew Nakatani was the real deal. I was honestly expecting one of them to get knocked out because they're both vicious punchers, so this fight going to a decision was pretty unexpected. Although Nakatani lost, his stock can only go up because he showed his great skill set and gave a good impression of himself to the fans. Boxing needs more fights like this. The fight itself was 36 minutes of tense action. It started out with Nakatani working his jab from range using a wide stance. This was expected since Nakatani has the longer jab. Inoue had his moments and managed to slip Nakatani's jab to land his own jab. Inoue managed to land a right hand late into the first round, which probably gave him the round. Going into the second round, it was clear that Inoue got comfortable quickly, teeing off with some nice combinations, whereas Nakatani was still in his first gear, relying on his jab and trying to counter. This activity led to Inoue winning the second round. In the third round, Nakatani's jab was on point, connecting consistently. Inoue started attacking to the body but got caught by Nakatani, who managed to land a sharp left hand counter. Later on, Inoue managed to land a right hand, which probably edged the round for him again. Going into the fourth round, Inoue was coming alive, landing quick flurries and stepping up the aggression. He got too aggressive and swung wildly, which Nakatani was able to see coming and countered with 2 quick shots. Inoue is definitely setting the pace and pressure, but Nakatani was ready to fire at any moment. He just needed to get started sooner. In the fifth round, Inoue was still coming forward and managed to back Nakatani onto the ropes. This wasn't an easy job because Nakatani managed to land good shots on Inoue on the way in. Round 6 was where Nakatani was starting to get back into the fight. He managed to land a big left hand and started to let his hands go, firing combinations. He also managed to land a counter at the end of one of Inoue's flurries towards the end of the round. Round 7 was similar to one of the earlier rounds. Inoue was coming forwards and applying pressure with quick flurries, whilst Nakatani tried picking his shots to counter. Round 8 was a solid round for Nakatani. His team must have told him to step it up because he came in landing a good combination. He started applying pressure and looking for big combinations. This led to him winning the round. Round 9 was also another solid round for Nakatani, with him finding a lot of success with his lead hand. He managed to find Inoue on the ropes and fired a good combination. Inoue tried to land his own combination but wasn't as successful as Nakatani. Nakatani's uppercut was also finding a home inside Inoue's guard. Going into round 10, Nakatani kept his pressure up and started landing with his lead uppercut. Inoue was pressured against the ropes and Nakatani managed to land a heavy lead hook. Inoue tried firing back to stop further aggression. There was a clash of heads which led to a cut over Nakatani's eye, but straight after the break, Nakatani went right back to applying pressure. Round 11, it was clear that Inoue needed to slow Nakatani down as he was starting to come on. He got into exchanges with Nakatani, and although Nakatani was landing some great shots, Inoue's combinations were opening up the cut over Nakatani's eye. The blood poured in and it was clear that his vision was disrupted, causing him to slow down. Round 12 may have been one of the most exciting rounds of the year. Inoue started strong with flurries but was caught by Nakatani's left hand. Both men fired combinations at each other, but Inoue managed to land the sharper, cleaner shots, having success with his backhand and uppercut. Although this was an exciting fight to watch, Nakatani just didn't do anything early enough to win on scorecards, resulting in Inoue walking away with the world titles. I also just want to say the level of sportsmanship these guys showed is respectable. There was no trash talk leading up to the fight, and even in the ring, neither boxer showed any kind of foul play. The referee barely had to intervene at any point, with neither of these guys opting to clinch or throw illegal punches. We saw two masters at work. Although Nakatani lost the fight, he still got a long career ahead of him and gave a good performance against possibly the best boxer in the world right now. The crazy thing is, he's only 28 years old. In terms of what's next for him, there isn't much at Super Bantam. Both him and Inoue basically cleared out the division. Inoue will probably move up, which will free up the world titles. Nakatani could stay at Super Bantam and collect up the belts again to go for an undisputed run, but he may also just choose to move up a weight class. The featherweight division looks very interesting right now, with plenty of champions in opposition. I actually think Nakatani will start to struggle at featherweight, and the reason for this is because of the size difference. At featherweight, a lot of the boxers in the top 10 are tall, long, or strong. Nakatani is someone who relies on his height and reach advantage to have success on the outside. Once this is taken away, he may struggle to perform with limited options. The current WBO featherweight champion is Rafael Espinoza, who's 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Not only is he long, but he has great fundamentals. He's a true champion who's defended his title 4 times with 4 stoppages. There's also Bruce Carrington, who has the WBC title. This could actually be a great fight for Nakatani because Carrington hasn't fought anyone on Nakatani's level, so the experience gap might be enough for Nakatani to pull off the win. Another champion at featherweight would be tall pressure fighter Brandon Figueroa. Figueroa has the build of an outside boxer, but he takes the fight to his opponent, drowning them in volume and pressure until they can't keep up. He recently knocked out undefeated former world champion Nick Ball, and this fight was interesting because Nick is 5'2", but Figueroa spent the whole fight with his head on Ball's chest, eventually stopping him in the 12th round. I don't think this fight would go well for Nakatani because he's just too big for him, and I see Figueroa stopping him in the later rounds. In terms of Inoue, it's clear that the next move for him is to move up to featherweight. He's undisputed at Super Bantamweight, so there's nothing left for him to do at this weight class. The move up will be difficult for him because it's clear his power is having less of an impact the bigger his opponents get, so he'll have to adapt his style more towards winning rounds. He's already started to do this because his last 3 fights have gone the distance. The fight with Rafael Espinoza is interesting because although Espinoza lacks in experience, his skill set and attributes make him the most dangerous fighter Inoue has ever faced. If Inoue were to try and fight in Espinoza, it's crucial that he avoids exchanging with him. My pick for this fight would be Inoue, but this would definitely be a big challenge for him. I also think Inoue beats Figueroa comfortably because although Figueroa is a large pressure fighter, he gets hit too much, and although Inoue's power is starting to wane as he moves up, it would just be target practice, and I see him stopping Figueroa later on. A fight with Bruce Carrington could also go well for Inoue because although Carrington is strong at the weight, he's relatively untested and hasn't gone up against anyone near Inoue's level. This gap in experience may prove too much for him. I don't see Inoue stopping him, but Inoue has this effect on people where if they realize the gap in ability is too big, they shell up and try to make it to the final bell. I feel like Carrington will come apart in a similar way, leading to Inoue winning on points. All in all, the future is looking bright for both of these boxers. Let me know what you guys thought of their fight and who do you want to see them fight next.